Good evening, everyone. Sheridan is not with us this evening, so he has asked me to step in for him. Welcome to the Budget Committee meeting for Tuesday, February 18, 2025. And first on our agenda is York County Community Action.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
Is this how I do it?
Yes.
You didn't give her a mic.
Hold on a minute. I think she needs a mic.
That is a mic. Hi there. So I'm Heather Harris from York County Community Action, and I'm here with a request tonight for $2,500. So I'd be interested in, this is my first time doing this, so I know in the past you've had Brad, who was my predecessor, would come and give you information. I'm curious how many of you already know about York County Community Action?
We have some familiarity with
Okay,
them.
so we offer a variety, we're a social service agency. We are located, we have physical offices in Sanford, Springvale, and Biddeford. And anybody in York County can access our services. So I think you will find that you have a handout from us talking about the number of services and the amount, dollar amount of services that we offer for Buxton residents. Totals up to about $840,000 for services for Buxton residents. Now that's a variety of services from economic opportunity, energy services. We have HEAP, which is Heating Assistance Program for low-income people. We have a weatherization program, so we try to make the energy services that we offer go further. So we'll go into income-qualified homes, replace windows, insulate, that kind of thing, so that the heating is more efficient. Children's services, we have Head Start and Early Head Start, so you can take your child to our Head Start Center, and we will offer your child quality childhood education from 0 to age 5, make them kindergarten ready. And we also have transportation services, and then a federally qualified healthcare center where we had served 188 of your town residents last year.
Luke, any questions?
I am all set.
Mike?
No, I'm good. Rick? Well, thank you for your services too with,
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Selectman? I want to thank you for your, for coming here today and for all the services that are provided to Buxton residents.
Great
Thank you very much.
to do it. Okay, thank you. Do you want any handouts or anything? I've got annual reports, I got numbers, whatever you might need.
I think I'm good.
Okay. I think you will have seen in your packet the annual report as well, so.
Thank you.
Perfect.
And next, we have Caring Unlimited. Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Norwood. I am the youth educator at Caring Unlimited. We are York County's Domestic Violence and Dating Abuse Resource Center. So our primary office is located in Sanford, but we serve all residents of York County, including Buxton. In your packet that you've received, you should have a letter from an executive director. On the back page, it has a breakdown as to the direct services that we provide to residents of Buxton. We served 25 individuals from Buxton last year. Total hours of individual advocacy was 131.15 hours. That includes legal, getting support with the protection from abuse orders, going to court, any of our counseling services that we provide, group services. There was about 14.25 hours provided to Buxton residents. One of our main services we offer is an emergency shelter for dangerous situations where someone may be in imminent danger or fear that their partner may take their life. We bring them into that shelter, and we provided about 150 bed nights to residents of Buxton at our emergency shelter. We do an education program where we go into Buxton Middle School and work with students of grades 6 through 8, partnering with the health teachers and the guidance department. And we provided education and programming to over 500 students last year. And the cost of all those services, if they were to be billed out, would have been about $25,960. We are requesting $2,513 this year, which is a flat request. There's no increase in that from the previous year. Are there any questions?
Luke?
I'm all set.
I'm all set right now.
I am good. Thank you for what you guys do.
Selectman?
So just FYI, sir, on your last page, your contributing municipalities are carrying a limited for FY '24. Town of Buxton is not on there.
I will make sure to bring that up to our person who fills this out. Thank you for bringing that up.
We want to thank you for coming in, and thank you for the presentation and for the work that Caring Unlimited does.
Thank you for your time and support. I'm a selectman, so I know how much this takes out of your regular day, so I appreciate you folks being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Next, we have Southern Maine Area Agency on Aging.
Good evening. Fern and I are here. She visits with our members every Friday at our Adult Day program. So I asked Mr. Bennett if she could come, and he said yes. So I am here on behalf of Southern Maine Agency on Aging to make a request in the amount of $2,000 for the services provided to the 279 residents here in the town of Buxton. I don't know if I need to read it for you, but we provide, I think our biggest thing that we do is clearly Meals on Wheels for those that are homebound. We do have volunteers that provide us delivering those meals to those local residents every week, along with a friendly hello and how are you doing and a wellness check. So to me, that's one of the biggest things that we do here in this area, but I think everything we do is important. So I don't know what else to say. I just think you guys are wonderful. And thank you for doing this. I was a select board person over in Vermont, where at my house in Vermont, so it's a lot of work.
Southern Area Agency on Aging does a lot of good work.
Yes.
Luke?
I just want to thank you for what you do, and I just wanted to let you know that it looks like you haven't collected last year's money yet.
See, I'm not up to how this process works, that I have to request it. I would think if it's approved, I would get paid, so I will request our allocation.
So the reason that I do that is sometimes a business that may move or something like that, so I don't want to send it to the wrong address.
Okay,
So what you should do is just email whall@buxton.me.us. So just the treasurer.
okay,
Look online, you can look at it,
Okay.
my email's right there.
Okay.
Just say you're looking for your 24-25 appropriation,
all right.
who you want the check to made out to, and what address to send it to.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
It's different with every town, but thank you.
Welcome.
Anything else that I can answer? Fern enjoys her work there.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Selectman?
Any questions? No?
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank
Thanks for the
you.
presentation.
David, you gotta slow down, man.
Dave's good at what he does.
Still learning. Sure. wait a little bit for Saco River Corridor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
One's for you if you want, one's for you. Yeah, it's in my office.
For next week, Sheridan had left me a voice message, and I haven't been able to contact him back yet, that he says that he has nothing lined up for next week, so the Budget Committee will do a workshop, okay?
Well, just FYI, a couple new ones came in that I gave you guys today. You could always call and try to schedule those ones if you wanted to.
Okay, I'll work with him.
But if you want to do a workshop, let me know what you would like me to do. What I was thinking about doing was. You want me to check the feed? No, leave it on. So what I was thinking about doing, something I don't think we've done in the past was, is I'd like to build an Excel spreadsheet that has what we have for a budget this year, what we spent, and what has been proposed for this current year. Just to keep a running total going on with a variance, what the increase is from the last year, and then what a total would be for this year. So what we're looking at is for a total budget this year. Obviously, I can only present you with the numbers I currently have.
Right.
And then even some of those numbers are probably gonna change depending on the union contract and stuff like that too. But if you're interested in doing something like that, if we're gonna do a workshop, we should make it so it's gonna be productive, obviously.
Yeah, it would be good to see past, present, and what's going to be forecasted.
Okay, I can do that. Anything else?
Can we have a lunch or dinner? Can you serve us lunch?
Of course I can. I can have food here.
Not pizza, though.
Yeah, I don't like
Just had
pizza.
pizza the other
What do you
night.
want? Chinese food?
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. Extra dumplings.
Just dumplings?
No, extra
Oh,
dumplings.
extra.
All rolls and order a dozen sandwiches. How are things in Augusta?
Now maybe you should pause it.
Yeah, do we want to pause
Yeah,
the
yeah.
meeting for a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
you very much.
Got here in no time tonight.
You know it.
Glad I wasn't late. This place is a little bit further from my office than I thought. Sorry about that.
Well, welcome. Glad you're here.
Thank you very much.
If you could just go through what Saco River Corridor does and what your request is.
Happy to do so. So I'm the executive director there at the Saco River Corridor Commission. I've been working there for about a year and a half now. And the Saco River Corridor Commission has been engaged to apply the Saco River Corridor Act, which was initiated by the legislature in 1973 to protect the drinking water quality, scenic value, and other resources of the Saco River and its two major tributaries, the Ossipee and the Little Ossipee Rivers. So the commission since 1974 has been requiring permits for activities within 500 feet of the Saco River and its two major tributaries. The permits are granted if they are in compliance with the Saco River Corridor Act and if they do not have a detrimental impact on those values of the river that the act was set up to protect. So after many years of simply doing that in engagement and enforcement of the act, working with the communities to try to protect the river, the commission in 2001, in collaboration with the Green Mountain Conservation Group, determined that in order to better understand the impact of these regulations on the Saco River and its tributaries, they needed to have water quality data that was more consistent than was available from any other source. So they started their water quality monitoring program. Green Mountain Conservation Group monitors a number of sites in New Hampshire, also in the Ossipee Valley area. And in Maine, the Saco River Corridor Commission now monitors 43 different sites, all up and down our jurisdiction. It does include places where the commission has identified the potential for greater contamination issues, whether that be an overload of phosphorus and nitrogen from septic systems or fertilizer inputs, or E. coli contamination from recreation sites. So we've located all of these various testing locations. We annually hire someone to run that whole program. We engage about 15 volunteers for that program as well. And the data that's collected both helps inform how well the Saco River Corridor Act is working, whether there's the need for any additional or different types of enforcement that could be identified over time. And it helps us convey information to each municipality. So along with this request, and the Saco River Corridor Commission is requesting $1,000, along with this request to each municipality up and down the corridor, we provide our water quality monitoring report, which is a summary of the past year's data. All of that data is also available, raw data, if the community should want it. We used to just supply the raw data, but we found that the reports are more useful for each municipality. In addition to that service annually, the E. coli monitoring that occurs throughout the swimming season is reported as soon as we get the results to the municipalities if there has been an overage, and documented on our website through a dashboard. So with the $1,000 that was requested, that money goes only to our water quality monitoring program. And that is because we are a quasi-governmental organization. We are funded by the state, but this water quality program is not. It's not mandated by the state. We are not required to have one. And so all of the service, all of the work that water quality monitoring program does, it's an add-on to what we do. We feel it's very important. And in order to help support that program and keep it going, we do ask each municipality up and down the corridor for some contribution, usually adjusted based on the number of testing sites in that vicinity and the types of parameters that we test for at those locations. I think that was probably a lot. If you have any specific questions, I am happy to fill in details.
Luke?
Yeah, I was just reading here that it looks like you have a $12,627 deficit for what, this fiscal year, I believe, or last fiscal year?
It'd be the last fiscal year.
Okay, so how are you covering that? It says here that you're, the deficits are supported by other income. What's the other income that's supporting that?
That's a great question. So I gave you the numbers for the water quality program alone. The deficit would have been covered from the Saco River Corridor Fund, most likely. Let me just double check my numbers here.
Second page?
Second page.
Third, no,
So is this the form that I filled out for you guys?
no, third page, sorry.
Oh, I see, okay.
I see, yes.
Because when you look at the actual financial statements out of,
Yeah,
out of QuickBooks, looks like they have a net income of $63,000.
So that was identified, and the profit and loss is a little bit difficult to work with because our water quality costs are shown in multiple places on the profit and loss. So what I did is I looked at all the costs that are identifiably from the water quality program, and I said, okay, how much income did we get specifically for water quality, and how much did we spend specifically on the water quality program? And I ended up with that deficit number. Yes, and so that would have been covered primarily by the Saco River Corridor Fund, this was a funding source added on to the Saco River Corridor Act in 1997. It assesses a 1% fee on the sale of water drawn from the Saco or from its groundwater. So, for instance, the company Maine Water, which supplies water to Saco, Biddeford, Old Orchard Beach, and Scarborough, they pay that 1% fee, which goes into a special state fund, which we can access. So that funding source specifically was designed to help facilitate our overall operations, and we do consider that money available for the water quality program if needed. But we do need to use a large portion of the funds that come in from that to meet our statutory obligations, what's actually required by the Act.
You know how much money's in that state fund?
Every year, well, it has been increasing over time, but this fund, this one state fund, does now make up more than half of our budget. So the sale of water from the Saco is contributing currently about $145,000 a year that we can access. It's not guaranteed money. The state could withhold it at any time.
So, thank you for being here. Can I ask you a couple quick questions? So if I'm looking at your profit and loss over here, it looks like you're getting an allocation from the state for $174,000, LD 1155.
That is that fund.
The same fund, is that the 1% tax you're talking about? That's where that money's coming from?
Yes, that is the LD 1155 money. That is the Saco River Corridor Fund. And the reason it's 170-something in that particular year is that we had not accessed all of the funds from the prior year, and we did access those funds in this fiscal year that's shown here.
All right,
So
looking at this
yeah.
profit and loss, you have a surplus of $63,797. And so is that carrying forward into 2025, or what happens to the extra resources?
Yes. So this was the first year that I was involved with the commission. And the prior year, there had been a significant deficit because the money was not retrieved from the LD 1155 fund. So there was a significant deficit, about $40,000 or $45,000, don't quote me exactly on that, in the previous year. And so that surplus helped to correct that previous year's deficit. And the additional amount is in part due to the increased amount coming in from LD 1155, but also that was the year that we transitioned executive directors from Dallin Hauser to myself, and there was a gap where I could not work full-time, so we didn't have to pay the executive director's full salary for the year.
All right, so to follow up on that then, out of curiosity, you're doing water quality tests in the town of Buxton,
Correct.
but for the people that are using the drinking water in Saco and Biddeford, is that correct? I mean, is anybody, so is the town of Buxton getting any benefit from you testing the water?
I can answer that. This summer, we got a email from them saying that Pleasant Point and Bond Mills, the E. coli was really high. We put up no swimming signs, and we would have never known that. And they emailed us like on a Thursday, and we shut down Thursday afternoon, and they retested the following Monday, and it was okay. And this is the second time it's happened in 2 years. So they are notifying us when there is something. We get a notification every month, every week, of what the water is. And it fluctuates a little bit. And a lot of times I read it on at the meeting when I have it. But we do get that every single week for both locations, at least 2 locations, Bond Mills and Pleasant Point.
Who's we get?
It comes in code enforcement. And then Chad and I both get because he's the health officer, him and I both get a copy of it emailed to us. So we do get it every single week. And like I said, this year it really helped because we could put signs up. You know, at least people would know the water's not good at that time. So.
What's the frequency of the water testing?
Yes, so between June 21st and early September, when our entire sampling season ends, Pleasant Point Park is one of the sites that we do test weekly.
Right.
And the other sites here in Buxton area are monitored every 2 weeks for a variety of, including E. coli at all of your 4 sites. So they're monitored every 2 weeks at the other locations, and that is a longer season. So, so that would start in the second week of May and run through the end of the season in September.
Okay. Mike, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Rick?
So there's 4 sites total that they monitor?
Yes, I'm looking at last year's write-up of the sites, but they haven't changed for Buxton. So we have Bonnie Eagle Island off of Sand Pond Road. We have Bar Mills Dam off of Depot Street. And we have Skeleton Head Pond off Simpson Road, in addition to Pleasant Point Park.
Got it. Perfect, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler?
Nope. I'm good, thank you.
So, just real quickly, what's your involvement with the Brookfield decommissioning of the dam?
Yes, good question. It hasn't really come up to any real extent since I became executive director. Prior to becoming executive director, I was on the commission for 3 years as the representative from Baldwin. I still live there. And I know that Brookfield did come before the commission to give an update about what their planning process was, but we have not seen any further updates since I became executive director, and we have not seen any application for any work planned at the dam. So really, we don't communicate with them unless they have an update for the commission or unless they are planning to submit an application.
So there is some discussion on having both the Hollis and the Buxton side, the full dam removal. They're just trying to take out a portion to let the river run.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people in the community want it completely removed, you know, to get rid of the future potential hazards that could bring to our communities. How would you feel about a total removing of the dam? Would that be something you'd be in favor of, or?
That's a good question. As executive director, I am not in any way a decision maker. I was part of that decision-making process as a commissioner, so I really can't speak to what the commission would ultimately decide is the best path, but what happens at the commission level is that they will consider the application brought forward on its own merits. They don't typically consider alternative proposals unless the applicant is bringing forward alternative proposals. And the commission doesn't decide in hypotheticals, so they will wait for a proposal to be made for a certain activity before determining to grant a permit or not on that particular activity. So I'm afraid I can't really answer your question as to what they would prefer. There are a number of environmental standards that the commissioners will review in every case. And so if one proposal was better for those environmental factors and they came asking, say, at the staff level to see which one is going to fit better with the commission's, with the Saco River Corridor Act's standards, I would go through that list with them and try to advise one way or the other, but really it's a matter of them understanding the standards.
So basically, because they're regulated by FERC, will you have, even though you're an act, will you have any involvement in the decommissioning of the dam? Or because FERC is involved, they won't involve you so much?
Whatever activity happens to any structures in the river or within 500 feet on either side would require a permit from the commission. And so an application does have to be put forward before the commission. We're not involved in the planning process, so if FERC determines a particular plan is acceptable and it comes before the commission, the commission is not going to ask for alternatives. They're just going to weigh that one application.
Okay, has Brookfield applied for an application?
No.
At this point, no? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Very good questions.
And the commission can deny the application, correct?
The commission does have the power to deny applications when there is an unreasonable impact to the river or there is a clear violation of the Saco River Corridor Act standards. But I will say that the Saco River Corridor Act was not set up to prevent development activities. It was only set up to provide reasonable protections for the river. So it could be that almost any plan presented could fall within the standards of the Act. I wouldn't know until I see an actual plan for what they intend to do, whether there's any conflict with the Act.
Anyone else have any other questions?
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, the Saco River Corridor Commission is a quasi-municipal government.
We are a quasi-governmental state agency.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Mhm. No worries.
Just FYI, ma'am, he usually does this. Saco River Corridor Commission has not requested your FY '25 funds. So the money from last year, how much is it? The $800 hasn't
I
been
see.
requested yet.
So you require an invoice.
It doesn't have to be an invoice, it could be just an email. The only reason I don't just send money out because we've had organizations move and then the
I
check gets,
see.
it just delays the process.
I can certainly get that to you. I assume it's not too late.
Oh, no, of course not, yeah.
Some of the municipalities that we request funding from, and we do request from all 20, and most do support us. Some of them require that step and some do not, and we're right now trying to figure all that out and make sure that we send such requests to the ones that need it. So I will make note that you require that and I can
Yeah,
send
just
that.
a simple email to the treasurer or the AP individual with, the name that you want the check to be made out to and the address.
Excellent.
Other than that, you're good.
Can do. And thank you very much for noting that.
Thank you very much for the presentation. We appreciate your coming in.
Absolutely. Sorry if I was a little bit rushed at first. I had just come in from the roads.
Fine.
Good.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening.
What does FERC stand for?
Yep.
We all set there? You gonna shut us down?
This concludes the Budget Committee meeting for Tuesday, February 18th, 2025.